In 2003, Sarah Mitchell walked into Lincoln Elementary with her 6-year-old twins, Emma and Ethan. Same blonde hair, same blue eyes, same birthday. But a routine DNA test for a medical procedure revealed something impossible. They weren't biological siblings. In fact, Emma had DNA that didn't match either parent. The doctors said it was a lab error. They ran it again. Same results. Then they found something else. Emma's cells carried 2 complete sets of DNA. She was what scientists call a chimera, absorbed her twin in the womb. Except the DNA didn't match anyone in the family. Not Sarah, not her husband, not even distant relatives. It matched someone who, according to records, didn't exist. The first discovery. Sarah Mitchell sat in Dr. Reynolds' office. Paperwork spread across the desk. Genetic screening results for Emma's kidney donation to Ethan. Standard procedure. "Mrs. Mitchell," Dr. Reynolds said carefully, "we need to run these tests again." "Is something wrong with Emma?" "Not wrong, exactly. Just unexpected." The second round of tests took 3 days. Sarah spent them watching her children play, wondering what could be unexpected about a healthy 6-year-old. Dr. Reynolds called her back alone. "Emma's DNA shows chimerism," he explained. "She absorbed a twin in utero. It happens more often than people think." "So she's healthy?" "Yes." But he pulled out a chart. "The secondary DNA doesn't match you or your husband. We tested extended family samples from the records. Nothing." Sarah's chest tightened. "That's not possible. I gave birth to her." "I know. But genetically, according to this test, Emma is partially someone else's child." The pattern emerges. Sarah wasn't the only one. In 2005, Karen Ramirez in Phoenix discovered her son carried DNA from an unknown source. In 2007, the Chen family in Seattle got identical news. By 2012, researchers had documented 43 cases across 12 states. All children born between 1998 and 2004, all showing chimeric DNA with unmatched genetic material, all from different hospitals, different doctors, different circumstances. Dr. Patricia Vance at Johns Hopkins started connecting the dots. "This isn't random," she told her research team. "The DNA sequences show patterns, deliberate patterns." She pulled up genetic markers on her screen. "Look at this. These children share identical anomalies in their mitochondrial DNA, anomalies that don't exist in nature." "Lab contamination?" her colleague suggested. "Across 43 different labs? Over 6 years?" "No." Patricia's jaw tightened. "Someone engineered this." The investigation begins. FBI Special Agent Marcus Webb took the case in 2013. Not because of the DNA that was medical curiosity, but because 3 of the families had received threatening letters. "Stop asking questions. Some mysteries are better left unsolved." The letters came from different cities, different handwriting, but the paper was identical. High-grade stock from a medical supplier that only sold to hospitals and research facilities. Marcus started with the hospitals. Lincoln Elementary's records showed Emma Mitchell was born at Sacred Heart Hospital in Portland. But Sacred Heart had burned down in 2006. Most records were destroyed. Convenient? He found Karen Ramirez's son was born at Mercy General in Phoenix. That hospital was demolished for new construction in 2008. Medical records transferred to a storage facility that flooded in 2010. Also convenient. The pattern continued. Every hospital where these children were born had either been destroyed, closed, or had their records compromised within 10 years of the births. "This is coordinated," Marcus told his partner, Agent Lisa Chen. "Someone's erasing evidence." The doctor. Dr. Patricia Vance died in a car accident in March 2014. Brake failure on a mountain road. The investigation called it mechanical failure, but her research assistant, David Morse, didn't believe it. He found Patricia's backup files hidden on an encrypted drive. Her final notes, dated the day before she died, found the connection. All mothers received fertility treatments, same company, Gene Tech Solutions. They shut down in 2005. Offices abandoned. But I found their research director, Dr. Elizabeth Harmon. Meeting her tomorrow. David called Marcus Webb immediately. They found Dr. Elizabeth Harmon, living under the name Elizabeth Ross, in a retirement community in New Mexico. 72 years old, former genetic researcher. She didn't seem surprised when they arrived. I wondered when someone would figure it out, she said, sitting in her small apartment surrounded by medical journals. Figure what out? Marcus asked. The children. The experiment. Elizabeth's hands shook as she poured tea. We thought we were helping. Preventing genetic diseases. Creating stronger immune systems. We? Gene Tech Solutions. We developed a gene therapy treatment for fertility patients. Added beneficial genetic sequences to embryos. Nothing harmful, just improvements. Lisa leaned forward. Where did the DNA come from? Elizabeth was quiet for a long moment. That's classified information. I signed agreements. People are dead, Marcus said flatly, including Dr. Patricia Vance. Elizabeth's face crumbled. Patricia? Oh God. They said they'd shut down the investigation quietly. They promised no one would get hurt. Who promised? The government. Defense Department. They took over the project in 2003. Said it had national security implications. She stood, walked to a drawer, pulled out a folder. I kept copies. Insurance, I guess. Inside were documents showing Gene Tech Solutions was funded by a Defense Department black budget program. Code name: Project Chimera. Objective: create a generation of genetically enhanced individuals for future recruitment into specialized programs. The DNA? Synthesized from multiple sources, including genetic material from high-performing military personnel, elite athletes, and individuals with exceptional cognitive abilities. You experimented on pregnant women, Lisa said, disgusted. They consented to fertility treatment. We just didn't tell them about the enhancements. That's not consent. Elizabeth looked out her window. No, I suppose it isn't. The cover-up. Armed with Elizabeth's documents, Marcus tried to move forward with prosecution, but every avenue closed. The Attorney General's office declined to pursue charges. Classified national security. The hospitals refused to cooperate. Legal departments cited privacy laws. The Defense Department denied any knowledge of Project Chimera. No such program existed in their records. The documents Marcus had? Elizabeth's folder disappeared from evidence lockup. The digital copies corrupted. Elizabeth Harmon suffered a stroke and couldn't remember details. They're shutting us down, Lisa said, frustrated. Marcus stared at the board in his office. Photos of 43 children, now teenagers, living normal lives, unaware they were part of an experiment. We can't prove it anymore, he said. They erased everything. So those families just never get answers? They got some answers. Their kids are healthy. That's what matters. But Marcus didn't believe his own words. The children today. Sarah Mitchell never told Emma the full truth, just that she had rare genetics. Emma grew up normal, excelled in school, played soccer, graduated high school with honors. But on her 18th birthday, Emma received a letter, no return address. Inside, a single page. You are part of something larger. When you're ready to understand, call this number. Emma showed her mother. Don't, Sarah begged. Please don't call. But Emma did. The voice on the other end was calm, professional. Emma Mitchell. Thank you for calling. We've been waiting. Who are you? Someone who understands what you are. The enhancements are activating. You've noticed things, haven't you? Faster healing, sharper memory, physical capabilities beyond your peers. Emma had noticed. Broken bones that healed in weeks instead of months. Perfect recall. Running times that kept improving beyond normal ranges. What did they do to me? They gave you potential. What you do with it is your choice. But you should know there are 42 others like you. Some are ready to meet, to understand, to decide together what comes next. Decide what? Whether to expose what was done to you, or whether to use what you've become. The line went dead. The gathering. Over the next year, 31 of the 43 children found each other. Not all wanted to participate. Some preferred normal lives. But 31 wanted answers. They met in a private facility arranged by an anonymous benefactor. Lawyers present, medical staff, security, and they learned the truth from the documents that had survived in various hidden caches. Project Chimera was designed to create a generation of enhanced individuals, not superheroes, just people with optimized genetics, better health, longer lifespans, enhanced cognitive function. The program was shut down in 2005 when ethics concerns were raised. But by then, 43 children had been born. The government had tracked them secretly. Medical records flagged. School performance monitored, waiting to see if the enhancements worked. Planning eventual recruitment for intelligence services, military special operations, space programs. "We're experiments," one young man said bitterly. "Lab rats." "We're survivors," Emma corrected. "And now we get to decide what this means." They voted. 17 wanted to sue. 14 wanted to expose everything publicly. 31 wanted answers from the government. But they all agreed on one thing. No one else should go through this. No more secret experiments. No more children modified without consent. The testimony. In 2022, Emma Mitchell testified before a closed congressional committee. The hearing was classified, no public record, but legislation quietly passed. Mandatory disclosure for all genetic treatments, criminal penalties for unauthorized genetic modification, protection for individuals who had been experimented on. It wasn't enough. But it was something. Emma graduated with a degree in bioethics. Several of the others became genetic counselors, lawyers, activists. One became a congressional aide working on medical ethics legislation. They stayed connected. A network of people who shared something no one else could understand. And they watched. Because they knew the truth. Project Chimera had been shut down publicly. But programs like it rarely die. They just go deeper underground. Epilogue. Sarah Mitchell is 61 now. Emma is 31, married, expecting her first child. The genetic testing showed the baby was normal. No enhancements, no anomalies. "Thank God," Sarah said when Emma told her. But Emma wasn't entirely sure. The enhancements had given her a good life. Healthy, capable, strong. "Maybe it wasn't all bad," she said carefully. Sarah took her daughter's hand. "You turned out wonderful despite what they did. Not because of it." Emma wanted to believe that. But late at night, she wondered about the 43, about their children, about whether the modifications would pass down through generations, about whether Project Chimera had ever really ended, or if they were just the first generation of something that couldn't be stopped. Her phone buzzed. Text from unknown number. "Congratulations on your pregnancy. We're monitoring the baby's development with interest." Nothing invasive. Just concerned parties making sure the next generation is healthy. Emma deleted the text, blocked the number, but she knew they were still watching. They would always be watching. The truth. The story of Project Chimera remains classified. The children, now adults, live normal lives. Most keep their genetic history private. But sometimes, late at night, they wonder, what else can they do? What potential remains locked in their DNA? And what would happen if someone tried to activate it? 43 people, scattered across America, carrying secrets in their cells. Living proof that some mysteries aren't solved, they're just covered up, and waiting, always waiting, for the day when someone asks the right questions again. When the truth can no longer be hidden. When the experiments begun in secret decades ago finally come to light. Until then, they watch their children. They monitor their health. They stay connected. Because they know what the government learned. You can modify DNA. You can create enhancements. You can play God with genetics. But you can't control what you create forever. Eventually, every experiment ends. And every secret gets told. The question is, who's ready to listen?